Welcome to Lesson 9, External Capabilities, Topic 1. In this video, we're going to cover how we can add additional buttons to our Circuit Playground Express, as well as a slide switch. We're going to be able to do this using the capacitive touchpads. So let's get to it. So taking a quick look at the Circuit Playground Express, again, it's a great device, has a lot of capabilities on it. It has the two buttons, the slide switch, temperature sensor, light sensor, accelerometer, IR sensor. Again, just a short review of what's available. But let's say you wanted to add additional components to this. How would you do that? Well, that's where the capacitive touchpads come in. They have the capability to serve as input and output. So what I have here, we have a simple push button. I also have a button from one of my son's electronic sets. Again, they serve the same thing. I'm going to demonstrate on this one only because it's probably what you're going to be able to get at the store more readily than this, and it's also cheaper. So you'll see there's a couple of pins on the bottom. What we're going to use, I'll put this one off to the side. We're going to use alligator clips to connect from the Circuit Playground Express capacitive touchpads to the push button. So first thing we have to do is we have to do the wiring. So one, I'm going to place in one of the 3.3 volts. So there's going to be power coming out of this. And then I'm going to connect it to one of the two little legs that are on the same side. Okay. So just a little basic circuit lesson here. Again, you have to complete the circuit. So the fact that this is considered an open circuit because of the fact that we've taken the wire from the Circuit Playground Express to the button, well, now there has to be a wire from the button back to the Circuit Playground Express. So what I'm going to do now is attach the alligator clip to the other side. I don't know if you can see that. Lay it nicely. And then I'm going to connect it to, I believe it's A3. But that's going to be part of the code. All right, so now that we've got the wiring connected, let's go over to our Arduino IDE. So we can see here I did use A3, and we're using the exact same pin numbers that we did when we simply did the recapacitive touchpads. This is a simple program. I'd highly suggest, and whenever you work with external components, just like we did when we first investigated the components that were actually on the board, it was simply to do a serial print of what values you're getting. Again, it's important to understand the information you're receiving or sending in order to create the intelligence in the device through the if statements. So let's go ahead and run this, upload it, and then open up the serial monitor. All right, so we can see here we're getting values such as 500, 700. Let me pull up the camera, reduce in size. And a couple of things are going to happen here. I wanted to focus just on the serial monitor, but just realize that if the value dips below 100, I'm going to use the color all function that has been added to this program to simply turn them all magenta. If the value coming from the capacitive touchpad is over or equal to 100, then I'm going to clear the pixels. Now remember, I'm saying capacitive touchpads, but the button is being connected in that pathway. So let's press the button. I want you to look at the serial monitor. And you'll notice that the numbers drop down to 0. I release it, and then it comes back up. So very simple way to add additional buttons. And because of the number of capacitive touchpads, I think you could probably add another 6 buttons to your Circuit Playground Express. Again, it's all about how you envision your application. Now, what I want to do before we conclude this video is just show you, you can pretty much use any type of component that kind of serves to close the circuit. And that's what I like when you look at both of these. That's what they serve as. They close the circuit, either sliding it down or pushing it down. So if you could find other components that work that same way, you can pretty much use the same code for that. What I'm going to do right now is, notice, I'm not even going to upload the code. I'm simply going to switch the component from a button to a slide switch. And similarly, if you look at the serial monitor, we're still getting those values that are, over 100. But now when I move my slide switch to the left, i.e. the on position, we get the zeros again, which allows now to actually, make a decision to color all the neopixels. Again, the difference between the slide switch is that you don't have to hold it. You throw it in the on position and it stays on. The push button, you have to actually continue to hold it in order to keep getting that value of 0. I'm going to turn it off. Lights go all away. Turn it on. Come back on. So let's go back to the presentation. And let's review what we've talked about. So in this particular video, we saw how we can extend the capabilities of the Circuit Playground Express using a push button and a slide switch, and the same code that we've essentially used for the capacitive touchpads. So hopefully you're starting to envision different applications of having additional buttons, and enjoy.